Hello. I'm going to do my fight review of UFC 129 after, well, I couldn't exactly watch it because of the pay per view thing, but I read stuff and I watched it on YouTube the next day, like everybody else does. So let me just say, I think I did some good picks, except for Bosek. Yeah, Bosek just didn't bring it, despite everything I thought he was bringing to the table. Fight dragged out to decision, sounded relatively boring. Didn't even bother watching it. Just Ben Henderson just had a better game plan, I guess. Vladimir Matyushenko and Jason Brills. Not much to say there. The fight only lasted 20 seconds. I found it to be reminiscent of the most recent BJ Penn versus Matt Hughes, where he just go in and knock the guy out, and then 2 seconds later he's like, "What happened?" I just feel like, oh, he's gotta be feeling that. Matyushenko just went out and decked him, and then that was it. Not much to say there. Randy Couture and Lyoto Machida. Like I said, the dragon rises again. Enough so that Machida retired Randy Couture, which is about time. It's really long overdue. I mean, the man's 47 years old, which is old to be fighting in the UFC. Like I said, he's 6 years older than Liddell, and Liddell was retired after 30 straight knockouts. So, yeah. I mean, not to say that Randy Couture didn't look good. He did. He was doing good. It's just Machida's that kind of a fighter. Just decked in with a freaking Karate Kid style crane or hop front kick, depending on what you want to call it. In my karate, they call it a hop front kick, but in others they'll call it a crane kick. But either way, just unexpected and just nailed him, and then he was done. The featherweight championship bout went exactly as I would have expected it to. They didn't have nothing on Aldo. Jose Aldo just all 5 rounds just does better striking and all that other stuff. Not much to say there either. The champion retains his title. That, and I don't really have more to say because I don't really pay that much attention to it. The featherweights, the bantamweights, lightweights don't really pay that much attention to those guys. Though they do have some pretty good fights sometimes. I just don't really know any of the guys that are there. But anyway, as for the welterweight championship bout, GSP pretty much picked Jake Shields apart. Getting his 4-inch reach advantage in there, using his jab, including one jab that knocked Jake Shields flat on his ass, which is hard to do with a jab. But then again, you're talking about the man who got Josh Koscheck's orbital bone. So he is a vicious jab. Yeah. GSP had a lot of jabs, a lot of overhand rights, threw a good couple side kicks and spinning back kicks, showing his karate background in there. Very good. He stuffed every single one of Jake Shields' many takedowns, and only that actually took Jake Shields down a couple of times. So that's just a testament to his skill. He knew exactly what Shields was going to bring. He put Shields down. Shields got in guard, ready to go to the ground, and GSP's just standing there. Or he'll go down, hit him a few times. He was doing the smart thing, getting points on the takedowns by taking him down like near the end of the round, so Shields wouldn't have much time to do anything, which is a smart thing. Considering that even though GSP is a phenomenal wrestler, I don't think you want to mess with a guy who's won 11 of his fights by submission. And he knew that. I don't think Shields would have been able to knock GSP out, so he would have tried to submit him, and that obviously wasn't going to work. The only problem, and I think the fight would have been better if this didn't happen, Shields got in one good right shot that cut under GSP's eye. And he was saying that by like the third or fourth round, because this happened in the second round, in the third or fourth round, he couldn't see the eye, which sort of made his plan a little bit harder to execute. He wanted to knock Jake Shields out. He was looking for the knockout. He was waiting for that with that right hand. He was throwing bombs, and he was connecting, but not only is Jake Shields a hard guy to knock out, when you only have half of your field of vision, it's a little bit hard to do. He did well. Like, after he had the cut in his eye, like, the fifth round was pretty much them trading shots. Nothing really big happened. But GSP pretty much decided when he wanted to take Shields down, and Shields, no matter when he attempted, it just failed miserably. I said he was making Shields look like an idiot. Looked like he never knew how to do a takedown. GSP is just really good with his takedown defense, stuffing him, nailing him with some good kicks and punches. Like I aforementioned, the two big things GSP had on there. There was the jab that knocked him flat on his ass, and a head kick that rocked him and put him flat on his back. And I think GSP could have gone in and finished that, but Shields wasn't knocked out from that kick, so he was looked like when GSP went down to hit him, he was trying to get an arm lock. So I think GSP made the smarter move, and instead of trying to go for the knockout and risk being submitted, he backed off and let him get up. So I mean, GSP is still won 100% of his fights that have gone the distance. He's awesome at decision because he pretty much picked Josh. He already picked Koscheck apart, but I always want to say Koscheck. He picked Shields apart for all 5 rounds, except maybe the 5th. I mean, if Jake Shields would have even been close to winning a round, it would have been the 5th round. But then again, that's if he won that round, which he didn't, because it was a unanimous decision, 50-45, then 48-47, 48-47. Now, Jake Shields did land a couple of good blows, but especially the one that cut his eye. But nothing really decisive. GSP is just the all-around better fighter. He knew what Shields was going to try to do, and he stuffed every takedown, got out of every lock he attempted, and just made himself look good, made Shields look like an absolute idiot. So that's pretty much it. He picked him apart just like I thought. Now, as for what he's going to do now, Joe Rogan asked him about the possible fight with Silva. He said he doesn't know. It could happen, you know. But Silva's going to have to fight Yushin Okami, which not that big a deal, I don't think. I mean, Yushin Okami pretty much hasn't lost a fight except to Silva. And even though he's in the book, he was won the fight because Silva used an illegal move. But to be fair, that illegal move knocked his ass out cold. So that's what I hate when Yushin Okami came out, and I thought he fought, who did he fight, like Mark Ward or something? They said, like, the last man to beat Anderson Silva. No, he didn't beat Anderson Silva. The last man to beat Anderson Silva, as in finish Anderson Silva, was not Yushin Okami. It was a Japanese man, but it was one by the name of Ryo Chonin of Pride. That was 7 years ago. So it's basically been 7 years since Anderson Silva's lost a fight. He beat Silva by a scissor heel hook. So yeah, he submitted Silva. But he's the last one to beat him. Yushin Okami, as good of a fighter as he is, I don't think he's going to beat Silva. I don't know how much better he's gotten, but we'll see. Yushin Okami is, indeed, he is 26-5. He's won 12 of his fights by decision, 9 by knockout, and 4 by submission. And 4 of his 5 fights were lost by decision, and only 1 was by knockout. Of his 5 losses, rather. So Yushin Okami has a pretty good winning record. In the past couple of years, he beat Nate Marquardt, Mark Munoz, and Lucio Linhares. He did lose to Chael Sonnen. Who knows? Sonnen might have been on steroids. Who knows? He lost to Rich Franklin. Jake Shields beat him a while ago in Rumble on the Rock in 2006. I'm just trying to think of names that he's fought that I've recognized. But yeah, he lost to Rich Franklin, whom Silva beat. And he lost to Chael Sonnen, whom Silva again beat and would have beaten a lot worse if Sonnen wasn't on steroids. So I don't think Okami has a shot. He might surprise me, who knows. Silva's got a 5.5-inch reach advantage on him. So that will definitely be something for him to watch out for. He's got his judo. Silva's got his Muay Thai, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and his little capoeira thing that he's got going. So yeah. Anderson Silva, I'm predicting, will beat Yushin Okami, most likely by TKO maybe. I don't think he would drag that fight to decision. I think he would end it. But GSP is not sure what he's going to do about that super fight, but I'm waiting to see it, and I think it'll happen once Silva gets by Okami. And the only other thing is Machida is going to be known as the man who retired Randy Couture. All right, good match. I won 4 out of my 5 picks. Catch you guys.